I check my messages. Thoughts popping off, I'm in trouble. This life can burst like a bubble. Nothing is subtle, the pain I carry within. Wanna jump out of my skin.
Turning me for anything I think fast. My advice wins, no free pass.
Cause I'm like, no free pass. My number no pad, no free pass.
Right in the notepad. It's making you uncomfortable, I know that. You don't wanna talk, no feeling, so I'm looking at the...
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Guess what? It's me, it's Gus. It's Mic'd Up with Gus. Back with my unofficial, but yet official co-host, Andrew Pesina. How you doing, my brother?
Terrible.
Why?
I had its burger and I'm starting to get acid reflux. So
That's because you're getting old and now you're getting fatter.
I smoke a lot of weed too.
What's that have to do with anything?
I don't know. I just had to shoot on that end for some reason because you know me, bro. Always gotta do something like that.
So you're watching something right now. What are you watching? Just because it caught my interest because I haven't been watching NFL.
I'm watching the Simpsons Fun Day football game with the Bengals and Cowboys.
Oh, guess who's here?
Oh.
Everyone, welcome Sam Stackhouse to the show, to Mic'd Up with Gus. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Andrew, Sam Stackhouse, Andrew Pesina. Andrew Pesina is my co-host.
What's up, bro?
What's up, man?
Me and Andrew have known each other quite a while in Southern California scene. If you've seen anything with me and him, he's just been a shit talker with me. And, I invited him on because, well, he's enriched in wrestling more than I am sometimes. And he was...
Unfortunately.
He said, unfortunately. Oh, we're going to have a special guest any second now that doesn't want to go to bed. Go to bed. Anyway, Sam Stackhouse, how you doing tonight, my brother?
I'm good. How you doing?
Good, man. I wanted to get you on a couple weeks ago, but unfortunately, schedules are getting thick for you because you that king of thick style, by the way. And I had no problem with that. I was just like, wow, this guy's schedule's really getting deep, man. And I wanted to talk to you because it seemed like one of those situations. Like, I know a lot of guys that have been in this business for a long time, and they're just like, man, like, am I going to get a break? Am I going to get it more out there? Am I going to get my chance? And all of a sudden it happens. And from my understanding, that blossomed and all came to you within the last like 2 years. And you've been in what, 15 years now 15. As of October?
Yeah. Yep.
So how's that been for you, man?
I mean, it's been crazy. Like I tell people the dude that does the GCW commentary, he said on my first show that I was an overnight 10-year success or a 10-year overnight success or something like that. But that's pretty much how it was. Yeah, because it was in 2021 really when everything started to take off. I had some stuff go viral on TikTok and then hit Twitter and all kinds of stuff. So then I got on at GCW and it's kind of just been up since then.
How's that GCW going for you, man?
I was going great. I just did Tampa on Friday.
Oh,
had
shit.
A four-way match. It was me, Masha Slamovich, Gringo Loco, and Manders. One called Manders. And it was
yeah. How was that match?
I mean, it was crazy because it was originally supposed to be just a one-on-one with me and Masha for the JCW title, but then it got changed to four-way. But yeah, it was good. It was a fun time. It was a good time. Crowd was good. That was my first official match in Florida, so that's pretty cool too.
Well, I'm glad I didn't get a cramp saying your name. Just a quick insight. Had Sam Stackhouse on my debut show out here in Oklahoma, and I was announcing the show. And I was running around all day doing the promoter thing, and I get in the ring and I yell out, Sam Stackhouse. As soon as I say Stackhouse, my whole rib cage cramped up, and you just see me go like this, but I still went through with it. I'm like, oh shit. And I got out the ring and everyone's like, are you all right? I'm like, yeah, go, just go. Couldn't say shit, but yeah, no cramps today for you.
Well, that's good.
I wanted to jump into the real cliche thing, of course, because I'm introducing you to like my fan base and stuff like that. When did you start wrestling? Who trained you? How'd you get into all this, man?
I started in 2009 was my first match. I started training in March of 2009 and I had my first match in October. And I trained at Compound Pro Wrestling here it's in Tulsa. It was at a little tiny church in the back room. I showed up on a Tuesday. Well, I started going to the shows because basically, I'll start at the very beginning. I was at a party and I met this dude named Brian Doyle, who's still my friend. he wrote when I just got new interest music now, but he wrote my previous interest music and wrote it and made it and everything. And then we got to talking because he had a wrestling shirt on, and then he was like, "Hey, they have like a local show here." Because at that point I didn't know like I had been to like a show that they had when I was a kid, that they had this thing here called the Indoor Fun Fair, and like every February they had wrestling shows there, and I saw them when I was younger, but I didn't put two and two together. I didn't think I thought that was just like a fair thing. I didn't think there was like one here all the time. But he told me that they run every Saturday down there, so I started going to the shows. And I went to the shows for about 6 months. I was like I sat front row every show for 6 months, and every show they talked about how they had a school and everything. And then one day after the show, I went and talked to the promoter, and then he told me to show up on Tuesday. So I showed up next Tuesday and started training.
Oh shit. He said, and then ever since then, man, I just been doing it. Well, who was your first match against?
My first match was it was originally supposed to be just me versus my trainer and like a little jobber gimmick thing that they did called Cobra Kai. But then the other guy, well, it was the promoter in the thing, but the other guy, the one who taught me how to wrestle more, named Dutch Hagen, he was doing learning the Ric Flair over the top rope to the apron thing, or like when you get thrown, he flips over the top rope and goes to the apron. He was doing that, rolled his ankle. So then they made it a triple threat just to cover up the fact that he was limping. So it was me versus the two people who taught me how to wrestle, and Matt. So it was not a great match. I blew my back out in my very first match, so that was fun.
What?
The Abyss's backbreaker, he used to do the shock treatment where he put him up here and then sit down. I did that and it broke my back. So yeah. And then I missed the next week because I couldn't walk, and then I was back at it 2 weeks later, even though I was supposed to take like 6 weeks or 2 months or a lot longer off than I was supposed, because the doctor told me I'd be hurting for like 6 months, and then I definitely didn't wrestle for 1 week.
I think he cut off like during his answer because like it started going mute, and then the video went out, and then you came back and you said something about doing the Abyss spot. I was like,
"What's cut out on you?"
No, I think it did, but I don't know,
I'm
maybe
all
it's
good.
just me. All right,
yeah, I think it's just you.
All right, sorry about that.
You're good. You're good.
Andrew, you got any questions, real quick?
You talked about how you started out as a fan. You were going and sitting front row. Like, here in SoCal at least, and I'm sure it's like this in a lot of other places. I know it's like this, or was like that in like the Northeast. Like, you would see fans who were regulars at shows, and they would sort of develop identities and pseudo social relationships with the wrestlers and stuff. Was that the same way with you? Like, did wrestlers know who you were just from seeing you at shows, and then once you got into the business, were they like, oh, it's that fan and who goes to shows? And do you feel like there was any sort of like weird treatment that you got being from a fan who became a wrestler or anything like that? Because to be honest, sorry to cut you off, it feels like that way with a lot of people in the business here in SoCal, where like they see a fan trying to get into business and they're trying to like ostracize him or something. But sorry, go ahead.
No, I didn't really face anything because like I didn't, when I was going to the show as a fan, I started going to the shows in my mind like the entire time that I was gonna eventually get the balls to sign up for the school. Mm-hmm. So like I wasn't in there like freaking out and going like I didn't enjoy it like a real fan type situation. Like I was there to like watch, and I was trying to watch and learn everybody and stuff like that. So I didn't really face anything like that. Like, because like I only went to shows for probably like 6 months before that, so I'm not even sure if it was enough for them to. I mean, they did run every week, so I'm sure they recognized me because I even back then I was hard to miss then. And I said, like I said, I was with my little nephews. We sat up front row, but I don't think I faced anything where they were like trying to keep me out, because back then it was all about they would let anybody train because they wanted the money. So yeah, it didn't matter then.
It's weird in some places because I know, like, it's egos in professional wrestling with people, especially on like the low ends of the fucking indie scene. Guys who don't go anywhere, not even like good enough to be 40 milers. They're just like fucking city journeymen and shit, And they have these attitudes towards fans who want to get into business, where it's like, dude, fuck this guy, keep him out. He doesn't belong. He should be fucking buying tickets.
Those guys know that they're like half a step above them, so they don't
exactly.
They know that fan could be better than them. They
don't want their spot taken by the guy who buys tickets and shit.
That's only people that are worried about new people coming in, or people that are worried about losing their spot. And if you're doing your job right, you shouldn't be worried about losing your spot.
Yeah.
Damn right, man. Um, who were some of the people that did? Who are some of the like guys that inspired you? I've actually heard an interview. And I think Bam Bam Bigelow was one of them, which makes total sense in my opinion. Um, who are some of the big inspirations for you going into all this? Like, I
Uh,
know you had to look at TV and be like, "Yo, man, yeah,
well, like the first wrestling I watched was ECW, so like
Nice.
RVD and Sabu was like one of the first matches I ever watched. But then I got into more, and I found Vader and Bam Bam and Umaga and like all the big flippy dudes, you know.
okay,
So and then Jeff Hardy was my first favorite wrestler just because he threw himself off of things, and I was pretty cool with that. So
oh
yeah,
shit,
and I like to throw myself off of things, so it worked out. But yeah, no, like those guys, man, like Mick Foley is a huge inspiration. Abyss, Tommy Dreamer,
nice,
all the big dudes who dabbled with the hardcore stuff too. But and like I said, I like the big flippy dudes too, like Vader was a huge, obviously, and Bam Bam. I mean, a
right,
lot of Bam Bam. There's a lot of Bam Bam. But then like Vic Grimes was I watched a lot. I used to
shit,
speaking of California, I used to go to, it was called Sam Goody here, and they would have those XPW
We
DVDs.
had those
And
too.
okay, yeah, we
yeah,
had Sam
yeah,
Goodies.
and I used to go buy those XPW DVDs. That's about the only thing in the
Oh
only
shit,
California wrestling that I knew about. But I saw Vic Grimes on there, and that was sick. I
I
like
was at I was at a lot of those XPW shows, but
that.
I was at the show where he faced New Jack in the scaffold match. I was
He
like,
tried to murder him.
yeah,
yeah,
I was like 14 years old. I was there with my buddies. I was like 6 rows away, and when it happened, like fucking Grimes was getting thrown off, and my buddy Ryan, he ended up fucking jumping over a bunch of seats just so we can get a closer look at Vic Grimes. We all thought he fucking died, man. That was the fucking craziest shit I'd ever seen in my life,
I
bro.
still question if he died or not.
He
I
might
watched
have,
it, I'm like,
Randy.
dude,
That's
did he
nuts.
die? Yeah.
That's crazy.
Have you been speaking of like the inspirational thing, have you been getting people reaching out to you and saying, "Hey man, like you're inspiring me," and has that kind of changed things for you too looking at wrestling?
Yeah, it still blows my brain because, like I said, I'm still like this stuff happens so fast. I'm still processing things that happened like two or 3 years ago still, because I went from like wrestling in front of 15 people in Oklahoma to like at the Hammerstein Ballroom in a matter of a few months.
Damn.
So like yeah, like it it happened quick. So like I still haven't wrapped it around my brain. So when people tell me that I'm inspiring them, or like they look up to me, or they like I'm people's dream matches and stuff now, it doesn't seem it doesn't seem real to me still.
Have any of your dream matches that are out there reached out to you? Are you in talks with any of those guys right now that you got something coming up that you can share with us?
I mean, there's been a few people that I got to knock off my list because, like Jacob Fatu was on my list. I got to wrestle him a few times. I mean, there's been
Nice.
plenty of people. Now, I'm just trying to get this Calvin Tankman match to happen right now. I'm just
Okay.
trying to speak that out at there, try to get this to happen. But that's the one I'm working on now. But I mean,
Nice.
I've got to meet people and hang out with people that I never thought that I've looked up to since I was a kid, or like in wrestling too. And just it's been crazy. It's been a crazy few years.
Hey man, that's all you can do is have fun with this.
Oh yeah.
You got any Japan plans? Or you want to ever go to Japan?
Oh,
I
that's
mean,
the dream. Yeah, Japan is the dream. Like, oh
Japan's a dream.
yeah, I definitely want to go to Japan.
Dear Japan, aka Hey Walker, what's up, bro? Like,
I'm hopefully next year, because
nice.
GCW usually runs like 4 or 5 shows there every year. They usually do one. They usually do 2 tours, but sometimes they only do one. But hopefully next year I can tag along on one of those,
Oh shit. Hey,
because I think
dude.
they're gonna be in the UK later this or next month, I believe, like the week before the Hammerstein. I think they're in England, I think.
Okay. Are you
But
going over there?
not that I'm not doing that one. I'm doing the Hammerstein show again this year, but I'm not doing. I'm not doing any of the overseas one yet. But I'm hoping, like I said, now hopefully next year I can get on the Japan one, or any of the overseas ones, really, because they do Canada, they do Mexico, they've done, like I said, they do the UK, they do Japan. So hopefully I can get on one of those soon.
Hell yeah. Andrew, you got something for him?
So, talk about being in the business for 15 years, and you talk about how you got over because of a viral TikTok spot. I'm pretty sure I've seen it. Like, I don't know if it was the one where you did a tope con hero over the top rope onto a guy onto a table, and
Yeah,
the
that
ref
was this one, yeah.
the ref was checking on you, and then moved the table, and then they checked on that guy. Was it that one?
Yeah,
So, yeah,
that was,
I remember. I remember that stuck out to me because it was something totally different and unique, you
Yeah.
know. And you're this guy who's doing all this crazy shit. I've seen you live in LA when you were at GCW.
Hell yeah.
I got a friend who hooks me up with tickets whenever he goes to shows and buys some, and he got people like who don't show up. And I'll see you, and you captivate the crowd because you know you got all this size, and you're moving in a way that, dude, even guys who are like 5'8" and 170 pounds don't move that. You
Yeah.
know, do you feel like it's sort of necessary in this day and age to be someone who's like trying to do cool shit and just do things that people don't normally see, you know, and you know what you do, basically throwing yourself around onto shit? Like, do you think that's more important to get noticed in like what a lot of guys, at least here in SoCal, who have this mindset where it's like, oh, we got to tell stories and be characters? Like, do you feel like that's way more vital just to get yourself out there at this point than it is to do any of that stuff?
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, I'm still very much story based wrestler. I just have some
Yeah.
cool, like I got some cool spots I do in there. But I mean, like people don't understand how important like social media and stuff is these days. Because like, no, even if you're a tell your story guy, no one, like, it's not going to work if no one gets to see your story. You know, so
Mhm.
because now, like I said, like I got a bunch of the stuff for the couple viral spots and all that stuff, but I'm a stories guy anyway. So like
Yeah.
I may
But
look
you,
I
but
may
you
be out here
need
looking
something
like
to
a
hook the
spotty guy,
people in,
but
right?
yeah, but you still have to have something. And like I said,
Yeah.
I'm brain wise, like I said, I'm a story guy. I enjoy that kind of wrestling, but I also enjoy seeing cool things, you know.
Yeah.
So like I've tried to find like a little medium between, because I don't ever want to just be I don't ever want to just get booked or like just do just they're like, oh, we don't need you to do anything except hit a dive today. That's
Yeah.
all. Like I don't ever want to be that. Like I still like to wrestle and stuff. And there's been plenty of time, like there's more and more times now where like that has happened, and it's not the best thing where they just bring me in to do the moonsault or whatever, which is like, I get it. I'm the moonsault guy now. I get it. Like it's impressive. Like it pops. Like I understand it, but like I said, no, like it is very much necessary these days though to have something, because like people ask how to get on GCW and stuff. If you don't have something that's gonna get that crowd, you're not gonna get on GCW. That's just, like, so that's just how it is now. And then once you have that, once you're hooked, once you got the bookings, once you're in, then you can show them how good of a story you can tell and stuff. Because in my opinion, telling stories and stuff, that's still what makes you money in wrestling. Like the moves and stuff get you booked, but the stories make you money.
It's interesting to me because I don't think people understand that there needs to be a balance between that. I feel like there's a lot of people who think it should be one way, and you know, you listen to a lot of podcasters, especially among the elder statesmen, you know, your Bischoffs, your Cornettes, and they're all like storytelling and you know, all this stuff you see is garbage, blah blah blah. But then it's like people don't understand, like, yeah, you can tell stories all you want, you can have characters, but it's also like, you know, there's fucking 6 hours of WWE on TV, and then another 4 hours of 5 hours of AEW. You got over 11 hours of TV a week, and constant shows on, you know, Triller TV
Yeah,
and all this
that's not
shit.
that didn't count Impact and everything, or all the other stuff too.
Exactly. And it's like I feel like a lot of people don't realize it's like you need shit to stand out. And I think what you do really helps you stand out.
Right.
And I think a lot of wrestlers should really look at what you do in terms of like, even if they're not like big dudes, right?
Yeah.
Like they should at least look at you and think, okay, what can I do that's different, you know, from what everyone else does that sets me apart? And then also, like, what substance do I need beneath all that, you know, to just keep them coming in? And I feel like you have that good balance in you. But I mean, also as someone who likes crazy shit, like I'm drawn to seeing what you do because like I feel like the average person out there, like, which is what I sort of feel like I'm more in tune mentally to, right? It's like I think that's what they want to see. They want to see shit that they don't see in everyday life, or see shit that, you know, they could probably do with their friends if they fucking hang out one day, they get stoned or get drunk and they're just goofing off. But then it's like you see the shit that you do and it's like, holy shit, I can't do that. I don't know anyone who can do that. I want to pay money to see that guy. And then, you know, that's the hook, you know, and I think you understand that way more than so many other people in wrestling do.
Well, it took me a long time. So
Yeah.
it's 15 years, and like I said, I've been doing this for a long time, and I haven't taken. I've wrestled pretty much consistently since 2009, because there's
I
not been a
mean,
lot of
but
time
were
off
you
of that stuff, but it's just come from. It took me a long time for that because it used to be when I first started, I was just a move. Like I didn't worry about like I thought that I would just have to do the cool moves, and that's all that mattered when wrestling was the moves. I didn't think about the fans. I didn't think about the business side of wrestling. I didn't think about anything like that. I was just out there doing moves, and it took me a few years to figure it out. But like it's just like there definitely needs to be a balance because like there's a lot of things that go into wrestling. It's not just the moves. I mean, there's 1,000 things that go into wrestling that make a good wrestler or a good professional wrestler, whatever you want to say. And it's from the in-ring stuff, it's from the locker room, how your locker room image, your social media stuff, the way you interact with the fans. All of the stuff is important. And a lot of these guys out here, you're right, they think it's just about the moves just because they can do the cool moves. Because I'm on shows right now that there's people that can do stuff that I would never ever even be able to dream to do, but yet I still get to be on shows. And it's not just because of them. It's because the way I treat people. I treat people from the same, whether they're sweeping up the thing to the promoter of the company. I treat everybody the same. So like that helps out. Like that stuff's important. My social media stuff helps. And plus the moves are obviously a plus too.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, there's all of it's important, and you can't just be obsessed because there's a slippery slope between being like a story guy and being lazy. There's a very slippery slope. There's a very slippery slope because some people they use that story thing just so they don't have to do anything.
As a crutch. Sort of like the same way wrestlers who aren't really necessarily polished at the wrestling aspect, they just end up doing moves. And even though I like moves, I love seeing guys do moves. It's also a matter of can you also like, fucking actually wrestle,
Well, it also is like the guys who can't cut a promo, they're gonna be all there. Those are the guys that tend to it's all about the moves. It's all, and then the guys who can cut a promo but can't do the crazy moves, they're the ones that's. But if people realize that they're both right, like you can't be successful if you're not good at both of them. Now, there's nobody on TV right now that can't do both.
I want to ask, like, sorry guys, but you've been at this 15 years, and you talk about how you recently just got noticed because of the TikTok video. Have you been doing like all this crazy stuff throughout your career, and you feel like if social media was more, more what it is now than it was like 15 years ago, because 15 years ago it was still like message boards spreading the word of wrestling. Do you feel like you probably would have gotten over sooner if social media had been around, or bigger than it is now, back in the late 2000s, early 2010s?
Oh, I mean, yeah, that thought's definitely been in my brain because I mean, yeah, it's like I've been doing the moonsault, I've been doing the dive way before all this stuff took off. I haven't really done anything crazy new. Like I said, like I've been doing the same stuff. So yeah, that thought's always in the back of my brain that if that stuff would have went viral a couple years earlier, where would I be now? But like also at the same time, I'm just glad it happened.
Yeah. Better late than never, bro.
Yeah. I get to do something. I live a dream that like, that I didn't. It was always a dream, but that's exactly what it was. Now it's gone from dream to reality. Now I got even bigger dreams now. So it's and plus like I'm glad it happened when it did, because if it would have happened earlier, like I said, with how important everything is, like I said, the backstage stuff, everything is important. And like if it would have happened with me just being a couple years in, I probably would have already had my little 15 minutes, and it would have probably been over now because I wouldn't have been grown up enough to handle it. So in a way, I'm glad it had happened when it did, because now I'm more like I was in a lot better position. Because if I would have had to do all this traveling and stuff back in the day, and like figure out all this stuff, I wasn't grown up enough to do that. So I'm kind of glad it happened when I was a little later in the business, so I was a little bit smarter and was able to take care of myself and take advantage of the opportunity when it came.
I was gonna say something, but you actually are adding more to it. You mentioned the promo thing, and now you're mentioning like the travel and what you've been through. I saw a promo of yours for GCW. I felt like when I watched it, I was like, that's not a promo. That's that dude. That's him. That's that fucking guy right there. All his feelings and all his soul, all his sweat, everything that you see in that video is that's him. That's how he feels right now. And bro, when you did that promo, I actually rewound it. I was like, I'm gonna watch this again to see if this was like did he rehearse this? Nah, that was like how you felt, dude. And like that was one of the things that captivated me too, was like, because when I first got to Oklahoma, I put out my feelers, and you were literally one of the top 3 guys that it was like, this guy, this Sam Stackhouse, this guy, Sam Stackhouse, Sam Stackhouse. Like your name kept coming up, and I was like, okay, cool. Like I'm gonna fuck with them. But then when I saw that, I remember watching that promo with you, and I was like, yeah, this dude wants it. And when promoters see that and adding up what you do with that truck, because I want to jump into your traveling.
Mhm.
When promoters see that and that balance that you got going on, man, like wow, like that promo you did, the traveling that you're doing, and the promoting of the traveling, which I want to get into right now. Your traveling is one of like Bob Evans. Me and Bob have talked about it too. It's like, bro, you're doing the miles, and you're getting guys to jump in the car with you, like Logan Knight,
Yep.
who, like, I'm not talking shit about Logan Knight, but he doesn't get all the opportunities, in the world, but he's putting in the miles to go get those opportunities. So it's like, man, like what are those miles like, brother? What are those like? I see you put in 18-hour days and shit.
I mean, it's brutal sometimes. Like this past weekend, we left the house at like 8:30. We drove to Alabama and stayed the night there, and then finished the way to Tampa. And then I slept for like 45 minutes, and then went to the airport, and then flew to Denver, and then so it was. And then we drove all the way home. Got home yesterday, but it's fun. Like I wouldn't change it for anything. It's like, I mean, before I was wrestling full time as a truck driver, so like I was kind of built for it. Like I'm used to driving. Like I drove 11 hours for every day for like 3.5 years straight. So like I'm used to the driving part, but it's just it's brutal. So it's definitely brutal sometimes. There's not a lot of sleep on the weekends. You gotta. That's why I say, like, everything's like, people think that it's just about the moves and stuff, but it's not. To be successful at wrestling is not. It's not nearly as easy as everybody thinks it out. As everybody thinks it is. You know what I'm saying?
You drove from Oklahoma to L.A.
Yeah. Well, that trip was intense because we drove. Me, Fuego, and Logan drove from Oklahoma to Denver, and then me and Fuego did the Denver show. But then Fuego had to wrestle in Philadelphia on Saturday, so we dropped him off at the airport in Denver, and he flew to Philadelphia. And then me and Logan drove 16 hours through the night and through the day to get to LA the next day. Then me and Logan did that show, and then Fuego did his, and then we drove to Arizona for the Sunday, and then Fuego flew back from Philly to Arizona and met us. And I wrestled twice on the Arizona show. I wrestled Friday. Me and Fuego tagged on Friday.
The last show of the leg you did too.
Me and Fuego tagged on Friday against Effie and Dark Sheik, and then Saturday I did the scramble, and then Sunday I was in a 10-man tag, and then me and Fuego had a 1-on-1 match because his opponent got, like, he was supposed to wrestle Nick Gage, but Nick Gage got hurt, and so I had to I had to step. We literally didn't find out about that until like maybe 30 minutes before the show. And he came up to me because I thought he was messing with me. I thought Fuego was messing with me because he came up to me. He's like,
right.
He was like, ugh. He's like, you're gonna have to wrestle twice. And I was like,
yeah, right.
Because I was already dead. I was like, brother, what are you talking? What are you talking about? And I found out I was wrestling him, which means I was gonna have to actually wrestle. So I was like, frick. But like we got through it. But yeah, like that. And then we drove home from Arizona there back home. So yeah,
16 hours from Denver to LA.
Yeah, it's insane. Which I thought stuff was way closer. Like I thought Vegas was way closer to Colorado than it is. I thought everything was way closer. I didn't realize that's a whole other, still like half a country away. Like I didn't.
He's like, on my phone, it was this far away.
Yeah,
but in real life,
because even when I was a truck driver, like I still only did like I didn't go like across the country. Like I still only did, like, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Texas, Kansas, but.
It was probably longer because your anxiety and because you were like, I mean, as a truck driver, you were just doing a job. You're just making your money and doing your thing. But this, you're just like, you're trying to get there because fucking Santa's there. You know what I mean? Like I get, with travel and all this, who's been some of your best travel buddies, bro?
Well, I mean, like I can't put Logan over enough for being my trick, because like I would not have been able to pull that weekend off without him. There's no way.
Shout out Logan Knight, by the way.
Yeah, there's no way. There's been, and that's not the only trip that there's no way I would have made without him. Because even I just rode with him yesterday because this weekend when I did the whole thing, I did the Tampa, then I flew to Denver. I drove home with him and Stormy from Denver because they were on that show in Colorado with me as well. So. Like, yeah, no, I couldn't Fuego, but Fuego's my guy. Like traveling with him it goes by quick because we like the same music, we pretty much like the same everything. So he's been the top, and I've probably put the most miles in with him. Him and Logan are the two top that I've put the miles in. I think and my sister, if it wasn't for my sister, when this stuff first started popping off, and because I think it was 2020, I think it was 2022.
Mm-hmm.
I only had 2 weekends off, and I had like 132 matches or something crazy. It was something crazy like that, and so I was booked like 3 or 4 times every single weekend, all over Texas, all over everywhere. And my sister was the one that was driving me, help me around, driving get those things. So without her for that year, like she shout out her too.
Oh, so her Christmas this year is gonna be nice, huh?
Oh yeah. Well, I tell you, when all this pays off, she's gonna get taken care of. I know that.
Hey, you know what though? Those are the kind of that's the kind of family you need who I don't have brothers or sisters or anybody like that close to me. And when I first got into business, I didn't have any support like that. So it's like when your family thinks this goofy thing that you're doing outside the house with wrestling, because a lot of people just like, what's weird is how big this business is, but it's just as big as it is, there's that many people who look down and go, what, wrestling? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when you get that support from your family, especially like your sister and shit, like it's like, I think that's awesome because it's like it gives you more encouragement to like, yeah, I'm going out, I'm gonna go do this. So I'm pretty sure along those lines, like that support helped you along.
Oh yeah,
those
no,
lines.
I've told people this before. Like I have in my mind, I have no choice but for this to be successful, just
Okay.
because there's like if in my brain, if I'm not successful at this, it'll be the biggest waste in the entire world, because everything that you need to be successful at this has lined up for me, because I have the perfect support system. Like I see some of these dudes' careers and lives ruined by their spouses. I met my wife in wrestling, and like I don't explain anything to her. She's a perfect partner for this. Like I said, my family has been support my very first match. I had probably 25 of my family members there. That might 25 is probably a little stretch, but everybody who lived anywhere near here that was part of my family was at my show. And like I said, without my sister, like my brother's the one that got me into wrestling in the first place. So without him, I wouldn't have even, like I don't know what I would have been doing. And he missed my first match because he was in the hospital because he got stabbed in the bar 22 times, like 2 days before my
tell
first
that story. Tell that story.
yeah.
We got to hear it.
We got a call on like Wednesday before my match saying that he was in emergency surgery because he got stabbed 22 times at a bar.
Damn.
Luckily it was like a pocket knife, which is the only reason he's the only reason he's alive is because it was a small knife, but he was still in surgery for like 9.5 hours.
Was he in a fight or something?
Yeah. And he thought the dude was just punching him, but he was cutting him up.
God damn!
I want to meet your brother. I'm like,
dude,
how are you gonna wait? He was stabbing me
22 times.
My brother's another reason why I do dumb stuff. So because I've been watching my brother do stupid stuff for my entire life. So
did you guys grow up on Jackass and CKY?
I did. My brother, there's a pretty big age difference between my brothers and sisters because they all go in order. Because my brother, I think he's turning like 49 this year, and my sister's 48. My sister's 47. So because my brother was graduating high school when I stared preschool.
Okay.
Oh, so you were getting those old school ass whoopings from your older brother.
There was him and his friends had a nickname for me called Plisket. I don't even know what the hell it means, but they named it because they would slam me and they said I would make this name or this noise and like snot would come out of my face. That's the name whenever they beat. Yeah. So he's and plus I've watched him do but Jackass was a huge thing. I remember when I lived in an apartment complex when I was a kid, and we found a shopping cart one time, and then there was I think there was like 3 or 4 broken arms and a couple broken ankles and stuff that summer because we had all the landscaping and stuff. We would just like push each other and they'd hit the curb and we'd launch each other into the bush. It was horrible. But yeah, that was huge. But yeah, there's a big. But like I said, like I was saying earlier, like I got no excuse not to be successful at this. There's so many things have lined up, and then plus I had the stuff pop up on the internet, like just stuff. So much stuff is lined up that there's no excuse. There's no excuse for me not to be successful. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, my brother's dope. He's definitely a trooper because that was brutal.
What are some crazy stories that you can also like tell us about, like you and your brother? Like, what's like. What is like one story that you think would define like who he is in a nutshell to anyone who's never met him.
The worst thing I've ever seen him do is eat some other dude's pimple juice. That was disgusting. Yeah, dude, it was terrible. He popped it and just lit. Oh, dude, it's gross. I've seen him. I saw like he branded himself with a hanger one time because his friends dared him to. Yeah,
Oh,
and
shit.
yeah, he's like the classic like college do whatever, like gets drunk and will do any bet or any like
So
anything.
he was like the town Johnny Knoxville,
Pretty much,
basically.
yeah, pretty much.
Damn, dude.
Shangulus and Johnny Knoxville in one.
Yeah.
Wow.
Damn,
Yeah.
22
What's your
times.
brother's name? What's your brother's name?
His name's Jim Thorpe Berryhill. Because they
Big
have
Jim.
well, Jim Thorpe Berryhill, I think he's
baseball
the second.
player?
Yeah, he's the second, I think. Because we have different we all my siblings and me have the same mom, but they all three have the same dad and I have a different dad.
Okay.
So they're Native American. So his name is Jim Thorpe Berryhill the second, and my nephew is the third, and their dad was
Oh,
my
you were
brother's
getting
dad.
res beatings on top of it?
Yeah, dude, yeah,
Oh
yeah, because all my brother's friends were natives. Yeah, so that's what. Yeah, they used to beat the hell out of me.
Did you grow up the typical res kid style out here? Because like, and that's not a diss, man. That I've really seen how like we have our hoods and our stuff like that, but the res growing up out here is different. Did you grow up on that res style?
No, we had it like I said, they have a different dad. So whenever I was pretty much raised, it was weird. Like I was like it was really only kid type thing because like I said, when I was in kindergarten, my siblings were already starting to move out and go to college and stuff when I started school.
Having
And then I
families
had, and like I said, I had a different dad. So I was raised in the ghettos of Tulsa. Like we used to, there's a zip code and a place called Fairmont Terrace. It has it's like the third worst zip code in the entire country, and that's where I lived at. So we we didn't know, like when we were kids, we didn't know, and we knew that we weren't allowed to go certain places at certain times and stuff like that. And like we saw certain people coming, we were supposed to go away, but like we were just kids playing around stuff. So it was no. So I grew up there. Like I grew up pretty, like we didn't have, like we grew up in like little tiny old apartments. We didn't have much of stuff, but it was, like I said, I wouldn't change it because it made me definitely appreciate everything I have now.
Hey, that's right. What you got
It
for me, Andrew?
shaped you who you are as a person, I guess.
Yeah.
No, I think it's interesting. There's a lot of people who don't realize that, wrestlers come from these sort of backgrounds. Like a lot of them have like these stories and about growing up, like, and sort of the ghettos and all this shit. Everyone thinks like everyone comes from like this, nice affluent background and shit. So it's nice to hear some real shit coming from somebody who's experienced that.
I think the thing about being a wrestler is you can't do this unless you've been through some shit.
Yeah,
100%.
You have to, like, as people can call it choreograph, they can call it whatever the hell you want to, but at the end of the day, you have to be a fighter to willingly hurt yourself and keep going. Like there's days I can't walk. And but come the weekend, I'm still gonna be in the ring unless they, like, the only way I'm not gonna be if they have to wheel me out there. That might be a little embarrassing, but and I'm not I'm not doing anything the crazy, like I'm not doing anything special about here. I'm just smart enough to post about it on the internet. There's dudes out here there's people at GCW and other places not that haven't even made a GCW yet that are putting in miles just like I am and doing all kinds of stuff every weekend and missing stuff and doing and like sacrificing things and have families that sacrifice things. Like I'm not a special story. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I'm just smart enough to let people know about it.
Did you play any sports as a kid?
I played football. Yeah, I played football, but I was more of a band nerd. Once I got to high school, it was all band for me.
Who's your favorite musical acts growing up?
Like art, like band wise, or just like any kind of music.
Band singers, even musicians who are in bands that you like individually because of their
big
work.
System of a Down guy when I was a kid.
I'm from Glendale, so I'm very familiar with them.
Big into that. I liked a lot of hip hop stuff when I was a kid, just because that's what I was raised on. Then like once I got into high school and stuff like that, I got into more like rock and metal and stuff for a little bit. But I legitimately like a lot of everything, because there's like country songs I'll listen to. I'll listen to musicals. I listen to rock, hard, like metal, rap. I listen to a little bit of everything.
What'd you play in band?
I started on the trumpet in middle school, And then when I got to high school, I switched to baritone. But then I would like borrow people's saxophones, and like I pretty much taught myself how to play pretty much almost every band instrument while I was in high school.
Oh shit!
Like I said, I was balls deep in the band.
Mm.
Did you like finish high school football, or did you stop in the middle of all that?
No, I didn't even finish high school. So,
Oh
Hey,
damn!
I didn't. Hey, sophomore years, as far as
I
I
got a
got.
job. Yeah, I got a job when I was like 16 and a half, and I got a job, and I got a girlfriend, and then school was not anything that I was trying to waste my time going to anymore. Which
I feel like
deeply regret now, but at the time I thought it was a good choice.
I feel like 16 is an age where a lot of guys are just like, I'm out with this fucking high school
Well,
shit.
it was just a bunch of stuff happened. Like my parents
Yeah.
lost the apartment, so like I moved with my sister, which made it hard to get to school. And then, like I said, I got the girlfriend, I got the job, and I thought I had everything figured out. So I just stopped going one day.
Yeah, because your older brother wasn't like a senior in high school. He was like a senior at Denny's and shit.
Yeah, no, because when I was in high school, my brother was already like my nephews. Like my nephews are I'm only 7 years older than my nephews.
Oh wow!
So like I was still a kid when my siblings started having kids. Okay, now my nieces and nephews are starting to have kids.
Damn.
Yeah, it's insane.
Let's. I want to tap into your nerd side now. Are you a gamer or what?
Yeah.
Are you? Yeah, I've seen some of the stuff. What games are you into?
Warzone, mainly Madden. I play a lot of Madden in college football. Those are my video jams. But
college football and man, it's back. It's back.
Yeah. I just started my little little guy on college, so I can port him over to Madden.
Oh, dude, I was
nice.
just gonna say that's probably the dopest thing that I've seen like in a video game as of recently is that you could take your created player in college and get him drafted into Madden. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah. I just started that, and then I like it. My weird thing is I like simulation games. Like I got the whole ass. Oh shit, my bad, knocked it over. I got the whole ass like airplane controller thing.
Flight simulators.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I like Flight Simulator.
You play those semi-truck ones too?
Obviously? Oh yeah. I play like I'm such a dork for the simulator games. I would take my laptop with me when I was driving a truck, and I would play Truck Simulator when I wasn't driving.
Tell me you put it right in the dash. Yeah.
But I love those games. So right now I've been really into this little airport simulator game I found, because also like I've always loved airplanes since I was a kid. I wanted to be a pilot. Then I got on an airplane and realized I like the airplanes not really being on.
So what? You're like taxiing them and taking them off?
Oh
and
yeah,
everything?
yeah. I can do all of it. I can do half of it. I mean, I saw a meme about this the other day too that like said like 90% of men think they could land a plane in an emergency situation. I legitimately think I would have a good shot of getting. I could get us to the ground. I don't know what's gonna happen when we get to the ground, but I know how to get us down there. You know,
I know how to steer.
Yeah,
he's like, I will be confident.
I know where the landing
the
gear
last
is
100 feet. I don't know.
That's the sketchy part. But
right, he's like, the wheels are out, my nose is up.
Yeah, I can.
Video games said to do this, you know.
In my car, I brake with this side and this pedal.
I could definitely drive the plane on the ground. I could definitely do that.
He's like, I'll drive all around that goddamn airport. Yeah. What other simulator games you play?
There's Power Washer Simulator. I was really into that for a little bit. There's a
Power washer?
Power Wash Simulator. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's actually pretty cool. Yeah.
Explain this.
It's like, like the videos that you see on TikTok, and you all of a sudden you've watched it for like 3 minutes and you don't know why, and it's just some dude power washing something or like mowing the grass or something like that.
Yeah.
It's like that, but it's like a video game. I just stare at the screen and I clean the things.
That sounds fucking awesome.
I would play a lawn care simulator.
There is a lawnmower simulator. I played it. It's pretty cool.
Gonna find it.
You can start your own. It's on Xbox.
Edward Scissorhands out there and shit.
Yeah, you can do it. You start with like a little ride mower, and you get to like build your own little business and get bigger things. That's pretty cool.
Have you heard of
too?
I know it's a little different in the genre discussion, but have you guys seen Body Cam?
What was that one?
I guess it's like a first-person shooter, but it's like realistic body camera footage.
Oh shit!
Yeah, and I've seen like I guess it's out now, but I haven't really seen much about it. But like, it looked realistic from the trailers I saw a year ago, and it looks like you're actually either a cop or you're just somebody, and the gun physics look real. Everything just looks real. And
I played a police simulator game, but it wasn't that detailed.
Was it All Points Bulletin?
No, it was just called Police Simulator 2022 or something like that. It was
Okay.
like it wasn't a high budget one. It was one of
Okay.
them little cheapo ones I found on the internet for
Right on.
because
Are you a baseball guy?
no, I like football's pretty much the only sport that I like keep up with like professional. Like I mean I know like I keep up with like the main stuff on baseball. Like I can tell you who like
I
wins
was
and stuff, but
I was gonna say there's this game called Pro Baseball Spirits that looks really amazing. It's out of Japan.
Oh, I'm getting it.
I told Gus
I like
about
the
it.
baseball game. I play MLB The Show sometimes.
Let's go.
Supposedly this game is like way better than the show, and they have like a high school mode where you can bat with like aluminum bats and stuff. So I'm probably gonna have to get this game.
Oh, I want to hit it with an aluminum bat, bro.
But you have to get it on like Amazon Japan or something like that, or Shop Asia and import it. So
I know some military guys out of San Diego. They'll hook me up.
get me a copy, bro.
You do Pokemon or anything like that, or
oh yeah,
anything?
well, I'm not into not as big into Pokemon as I am now, but when I was younger, I was pretty into it. I got a Switch or not is that that's what it is. I got
The
one.
Switch.
I got one of them. Well, I haven't really tested all what that can do, but I need to get some Pokemon games to play it on there.
The
I heard
Switch
they have-
really does everything.
Yeah, they have a good choice of like retro games, which is one reason why I want to get it, but money's tight. So
One of my buddies hooked me up for like someone to me like $40.
oh damn.
Because I guess his girlfriend gave it to him and he didn't want it because he said he wasn't gonna play it. And I was just mentioning he was over here smoking with me, and I was just mentioning that I was thinking about getting one when I'm on the road, and he was like, "Well, you want this one?" And I was like, "Yeah," but I just haven't had time to.
Hey man, if you need $60, let me know. You come over here and smoke, I'll give you 80. Shit.
Yeah, I got a good deal on it.
Let's tap into some personal things with Sam Stackhouse. Sam Stackhouse, what's your favorite movie of all time?
Twister. Don't judge me.
I'm not. You live here.
That is
When I moved to Oklahoma, I swear to God to you, because growing up, Twister was one of my favorite movies. Like I'm so drawn to that because me and Andrew, we grew up around earthquakes, and we didn't get much as kids, like as weather wise, and we don't get snow and all that shit. We get rain. So when I saw Twister, I was like, "There's no way."
Yeah.
And then I moved out here. Oh shit, it's real. Oh my god.
I think Twister's probably the movie I've seen.
Hey, we actually had a tornado here in the LA area not too long ago.
That's crazy.
That's just a bunch of bums running
I mean, no, it was a legit tornado, Gus. I'm telling you. It was in El Monte. I swear to God.
Did they film any of that movie in your area?
I think they filmed the new one around here, but the old one, it's probably I think like probably 2.5 hours away from here. There's a whole museum and everything there, and I've never even been there. Me and my wife always talk about going there because she loves Twister too.
Have you been in an actual tornado or near one?
I've been near them, but I've never been in one yet.
See, and that's I think I've learned to ask that question, Andrew.
What?
You don't ask that question if someone's been in a tornado, they will literally tell you, bro, my house was in a tornado. I flew away.
I don't know what this shit
that's what I'm
is
saying.
like,
That's
bro.
what I'm saying. So
damn, Gus trying to correct me.
No, but listen.
Since when did you get all PC?
When a tornado went by me a mile away and someone said, "Were you in a tornado?" I said, "I wasn't in it, but I seen it."
I'm sorry, I don't know the dynamics of a fucking tornado because
close to him.
Part of me feels like it's like a hurricane where there's a giant hurricane like swoop around and people are around it, but still, I don't know. I'm dumb, okay? Damn, Gus, why you gotta grill me?
I'm just saying. I learned how to ask about being like.
Anyway, Sam.
I'd much rather have the tornadoes here than the earthquakes. Earthquakes freak me out because we've had a few earthquakes here.
Earthquakes are scary, bro.
Yeah, I don't like that.
There was a 7.0 in NorCal like 8 hours away, and that shit got me all jumpy and all that shit.
I don't like those.
Have you ever been in an earthquake?
Yeah, we've had small, compared to y'all, probably not. We've had small ones here where stuff shook and stuff, and I'm like, that is not cool.
Are your guys' earthquakes more like fracking cause, or like do you guys have like faults there? Like
I have
we have
no idea. I mean,
he's like,
I'd imagine,
and I don't know.
Yeah, I have no idea. I don't know why so many tornadoes happen here. I've never lived here my whole life. They just say that they're just like, because it's Tornado Alley. That's all anybody's ever told me my whole life. Well, you live in Tornado Alley. Don't know what that means. Don't know why that happens here.
I swear that I live by the airport because I live in Midwest City,
Mhm.
and every day after 2 o'clock, every 10, 15 minutes, you see these big ass planes coming in. Like, bro, where all you going? Where all you come from? And it's like, are you guys the chemtrail planes? Are you
They're
guys doing?
probably
Probably they got
FedEx
that
and
military
Amazon.
base up there.
No,
That's
these are
probably what
military planes. I'll read
yeah,
you.
Oh,
they
okay.
got the
Straight
military
mili-
base up there.
Yeah, it's
They
straight
feeding the
military.
clouds, you know.
I've
Fuck,
seen
they
that.
need to see the clouds here. We need some fucking rain right now, bro.
Do you believe in any conspiracy theories? Are you a
Oh, you
conspiracy
don't.
guy at all?
Yeah, I am. It's one of my. Yeah,
Are you?
I get
Hell
into 'em.
yeah.
I get into 'em. Yeah, yeah.
Are you a flat Earth guy?
A flat Earth guy. Oh, that one. I mean, like, I could see why people would want to think that, but also at the same time, I don't. I don't understand why anybody would care. Like, I don't understand that one. You know, like,
Yeah.
there's plenty of other weird stuff going on. I don't understand why we fighting over something that don't matter to me. That changes. If I could find out the world is flat tomorrow, and it would not change anything for me. I don't
Which
plan on going to space if it's
so which
flat.
one of your biggest conspiracy things that like if something were to happen, you're like, oh, fuck it, I knew it, I knew it.
Well, you brought up the chemtrails. I believe in those. I believe in
Oh,
the
I
weather
believe in
thing.
those.
There ain't no way they ain't figured out because they already do that cloud seeding thing, and
Saudi
then
Arabia.
they about drowned them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They fucked up, bro.
Yeah, oh yeah, I believe that one. And then like I'm not like I don't know. I will fall hook Lincoln seeker or whatever the hell whatever that term is for like a good governmental conspiracy. So I'm all into that.
Like the Denver airport and all that.
Oh yeah, which is crazy because I was just there last week, and it was the first time I actually got to walk around. Because normally, I've been to the Denver airport. Probably is the second most airport or second airport I've been to the most besides the Tulsa airport. But this was the first time that I actually like left the airport from there. Because most of the time it's always just I'm connecting somewhere. Like I've been
So
there a bunch
you
of
were
times. So I was like looking around, looking for all this stuff, and then when we were leaving, I was like, this place really is freaking gigantic, and it's in the middle of nowhere.
What's the Denver airport conspiracy?
Well, they
oh,
like yeah,
there's so
they
much.
like built this entire thing and then just allegedly buried it underneath the thing. So because people basically think it's like a big like government base for if like shit pops off.
You go there.
That's where they're all going to go, which makes sense because it is in the mountains and they've got all kinds of stuff. I saw a missile train on like in or when we were in Colorado the other day. That was pretty cool.
Oh shit.
Do you
Yeah.
feel like anything's going to go down pretty soon with with the news of Jay-Z whole lawsuit? Because part of me feels like whenever like something like that happens to a major celebrity, as in Diddy, there's got to be a cover up. Because like with Diddy, when he went down, it ended up being the 23andMe scandal that came out. So do you think there's anything going on with the Jay-Z lawsuit as like a smokescreen for something?
I mean, I'm assuming that's what always happens. Anytime something crazy, anytime something important is about to happen, something crazy like that happens, get everybody all distracted and whatnot.
Yeah.
It's how so who knows? They're like I'm sure the people who think they know what's going on probably don't even know what's going on. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, it's interesting time.
There's no
It's
telling
interesting.
how it goes. Damn it! No.
It's interesting timing what with the whole CEO assassination last week and now Jay-Z, this whole Jay-Z thing. It's almost as if they're trying to like push this, but like I don't think people are necessarily falling for it this time.
Well, it's they're having to change because like I mean it's a lot harder now because with everything most people don't get their news from the news anymore.
Yeah.
So it's a lot harder to feed lies and feed a narrative to people whenever they're not watching it or they're getting their because I for one don't get my news from the news anymore which probably not I mean I'm not saying it's all bad
Right.
but also the news is just depressing and I'd much rather watch funnier people tell me bad things than watch some person on the internet or on the TV read something.
Are you an alien guy?
There's no way there's not aliens. That just
Do
doesn't
you
make
believe that they could be living in the ocean?
I don't know about all that.
Yes.
But like
yes, I do.
I mean it makes sense though. I mean I saw King Kong, that's where King Kong came from, isn't it?
Yeah. He's in
Godzilla.
the center of Earth.
Makes sense. I do
I thought-
because I do believe that they use movies to like
Oh,
to like to make us okay with things before things pop off.
100%.
Because like I've been seeing all those things now, they just admitted that aliens are real, and people just don't. Like, people are like, duh. Like,
Well, I feel okay. So with the alien thing, I think they're pushing it more on us because there's really a beef between the species of aliens because there's there's a hierarchy. I believe in all this.
Yeah.
I believe there's a hierarchy. I believe that there's the certain kind of breed. Like I forgot the name of, but they're gray. Some are gray, some are green, and some are brown or whatever. And it's literally like the grays are like the like the highest ones, and then the browns are like the lowest ones or some shit.
Damn,
But they're
Gus.
talking about I've talked to people. The brown aliens, goddamn it.
Why you have to say it like that, Gus? What did we do? Oh wait, never mind.
I'm with you, dog.
I was born
Um,
here, so
but I feel that the aliens that are here that are being pushed down by the higher aliens are the ones that are gonna be like, hey, here's what's going on to let you guys know, and we're gonna be like, okay, cool. I'm gonna take a selfie with one.
Right? Yeah, that's exactly what's gonna happen. It's
And
gonna
nobody's
be
gonna give a
it's gonna be
shit.
embarrassing. Like
Yeah.
I wish the aliens came back before social media, because now we're all dumb and we're just gonna be trying to get it on TikTok first. Like,
I'll be the first one. I would like.
100%. Yeah.
I wouldn't even get nervous. I'm like,
yeah.
I wouldn't be
Gus.
I wouldn't be surprised if the aliens already came here, saw how dumb we were, and were all like, let's just dip out.
Let's give them another 1,000 years, then we'll be back.
Yeah, we'll see how their evolution gets them anywhere good.
That movie with Rowdy Piper, They Live. I've been watching that since I was a kid. I'm just like, that's why I believe in all this. You know what I mean? Like,
what got me was when I first watched that Ancient Alien show, because that stuff don't make no sense. How explain to me how these people saw the same stuff when there was no way to communicate with each other, but they got the same cave drawings on this side of the world we got on this one. That don't make no sense to me. That don't make no sense to me. That's all I'm saying. I don't know.
That's I believe it. Like when I watch what is the other Stargate? When I watch Stargate, I'm like, yeah, they're telling us something. There's a portal somewhere. They found a real portal, and they're going back and forth, and then they kill Ra, and I'm like, wait a minute, you can't just kill a god. Why are they doing? You know what I mean? So I'm like, okay, there's some aliens out here. Well, that's why I would like The Simpsons. They're gonna come out like,
oh yeah,
told you.
Well, Matt Groening he's a dang. Isn't that how you say his name?
Yeah.
What if he's one of the aliens? He doesn't tell in the future and stuff all the dang time.
Matt Stone and Trey Parker told us in the pilot of South Park what it all is, man.
What?
Oh, the first episode where Cartman gets the probe.
Yeah, Cartman gets abducted by aliens and they give him an anal probe, and they're using his ass to communicate to outer space.
I feel like there's better ways to extract information. I feel like they would, I feel like they'd be at like a scanning point. I don't think they'd have to put anything in yet.
They probably do it just to humiliate the doctors. They're probably all like mega bros and all that shit, and they're just doing it like, bro, let's just put this shit up their ass and see how they react.
We're their social media joking. That's what like all the videos. That's what they do.
The aliens who come here are just the frat boys of the universe. Like all the ones with higher intellectual powers and shit, they're all busy doing their own thing. We're just getting the dumb ones here to fuck with us.
Right? What are you doing? Going to Earth on Friday? What are you doing?
Yo, I'm gonna try and get one of these stupid fucking dudes to come up, and he's gonna fucking tell all his friends, and no one's gonna believe his stupid ass. Meanwhile, we have a probe up his butthole, and we're fucking controlling him the entire time. Stupid fuck won't know anything about it.
What was that one movie where the dude got a fire in the sky?
Yo, my buddy showed me that movie when I was like 16, and it scared the shit out of me.
Yeah, first time I ever saw that movie too, man. I sat there like this because I think it was my uncle Willie. Shout out Uncle Willie. He brought it on like Thanksgiving, and he would always bring these weird fucking movies on Thanksgiving. And he brought that, and I remember sitting there during the scene, where he got abducted. I'm just like, this is because at the time social media wasn't around, so you believe everything. And so they were like, well, we did lie detector tests and all these guys, and they all tell the same story. It's all, and you're just like, oh my god, this dude really, the one guy in Texas or wherever the fuck it was at, But it's like I watch that movie now, and I still kind of like that. And I'll watch that and Signs back to back, and you're just like,
oh yeah,
this shit's real. This shit's hella real.
There's just no way it's not. Like how could we be the like if we're the only thing in the entire all the universes, all that stuff? That's not great.
That's not.
God, if we were the peak of all living species,
that's not,
how depressing would that be?
Yeah, like I don't want to think that's true. That's horrible. I'd much rather believe that there's aliens somewhere. There's got to be.
Well, spiders are aliens. I mean, look how small these things are, and they shoot out bulletproof fucking string out of their
Like,
ass.
just
And
I
they
look at them more like dinosaurs. Like
a
all bugs and
spider.
birds are dinosaurs to me.
Spider's an
yeah,
alien, bro. A
I think
spider's an
they
alien.
technically like chickens technically dinosaurs or some shit.
Yes,
Yeah, like that's crazy.
they evolved from something that from
Scared
the
of going
dino.
chicken.
Same with pigeons too. They all evolved from like the dinosaur species or something like that.
Some of
And
these
we all,
animals don't get enough credit. Like
yeah,
dolphins are apparently super smart. I showed
dude.
I showed my
Smartest
kid
animal
a
on the planet.
video. I showed my kid a video where they make that like death circle and like make the fish jump over the thing and they just jump right in their mouths.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
Them
yeah.
and like fucking orca
Orcas.
whales
Yeah,
fucking teaming up to take on fucking whalers in the
yeah,
seas of
that's nuts.
Japan. Like they're figuring it out. The animal kingdom's gonna overtake us
Oh
eventually.
yeah,
That's
and
what
we're
I think. We're
we're screwed.
fucked.
Yeah,
Dude,
We're
have
gonna be
you?
enslaved to a bunch of gorillas.
I was gonna say, do you guys watch those the Planet of the Apes movies, the new
I, mean,
ones?
I haven't seen the newest one, but I've seen the other ones. Yeah,
Dude, these
I
movies are
gotta watch the
like
newest ones.
these movies are good,
Yeah,
and I believe in that too. I'm like, bro, don't fuck with these monkeys, man. You give one the wrong injection or some shit, they might be like Caesar, and I'm like,
that's
we're
what
fucked.
that's what I'm saying. I don't want smart. I don't want smart monkeys.
No,
Why are we even
no,
doing that?
no, I don't. Though
It's
they
like that
fight.
episode of Rick and Morty when they fucking gave the dogs intelligence and they
Oh
took
yeah, you
over.
saw how that worked out.
Like, dude, you
What's his name?
can't have this.
Snowball or whatever. Yeah,
Fluffy.
Fluffy. I knew it was
Fluffy.
something like that. Yeah, that's funny.
Hey, is that show done, or they like they don't have no new ones, do they?
I
They
think.
just did like a season where it's
Yeah, I
like
thought they just did this.
anime,
Yeah,
Hmm.
but I
I need
don't
to get
know.
on that. I
That
need to
show
get on
fell
that.
off after season 4
it did.
for
It
me,
really.
but
I think that might have been. It was season 3 or 4 was the last one I watched all the way through.
because
Or the
like
weird. Wait, go ahead.
because like they started like doing this weird shit where like Rick and Morty were making out with each other all the time, and they were doing all these weird grandfather grandson incest jokes, and I was like, I'm
Yeah,
out.
that's
I can't
weird.
really do this anymore. Then I found out like one of them was all fucking like crazy and shit, and I was just like, yeah, I don't need this. And they
Hey,
replaced the fucking voices, and I guess they're not as good, but
I used to love Rick. My dog's name Morty. I used to love
mm,
Rick and Morty.
I
Oh
love that
shit!
show too in the beginning.
I was just gonna ask, what are some of your favorite shows that you watch?
Let's see. I mean, obviously, I like Rick and Morty. I like I'm an Office guy. Parks and Rec. I like
Nice.
shows like
Parks
that.
and Rec.
What else were you watching? Like there's the show that we keep up watching that I keep up with is 911. We watched that. We just watched an episode of that a while ago. It's pretty good.
Okay, the new one. Yeah.
There's two versions of it because there's 911 and there's 911 Lone Star, and we watch both of them. I like America's Got Talent. That's the show I keep up, like the live show I keep up with. Anyways, I like that one. And then really I watch wrestling and YouTube. That's pretty much. I don't watch as much. I don't watch nearly as much TV and stuff as I used to. But
I don't think
me and
anybody
Logan were just
does.
talking. Yeah, me and Logan were just talking about there's some shows that because I just started like What We Do in Shadows. I just started that. It's pretty
Okay.
hilarious.
I heard it's funny. Like,
Yeah, I was gonna say my wife
Yeah,
wants to watch that.
it's pretty funny.
like I've been doing a rewatch of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and I'll always see it in the recommendations. It's like I'll check it out
It's
someday.
hilarious. And they're easy because I think they're like 24-minute episodes, so they're easy to watch too.
I miss
I've
those formats of sitcoms where it's like 24 minutes each.
Yeah, it's way better.
Like
I was gonna say,
people
yeah,
have told me Abbott Elementary is funny, and with the It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia crossover coming up, I'm probably gonna end up checking that show out.
He was telling me about that just yesterday. Logan was. He told me
Oh,
that,
shit.
he said that if I like Parks and Rec and Office and stuff, that I should check out that Abbott Elementary show. Because he's saying it's like a mockumentary type thing, just like those other ones.
There's a new show on NBC called Saint Denis. I guess it's like a hospital version
Yeah.
of The Office.
I'm caught up on. I've watched every episode of that one too. I forgot.
Is
about
it good?
that. Oh yeah, it's pretty funny. It's
All right,
pretty
I'll
funny.
check it out.
It's funny.
yeah, I need something to watch. I was watching the my God, it's like about Walmart or Costco. It's like
Superstore?
yeah. Super. It's just kind of funny, man. Because me and my I've been writing movies and stuff lately, and I'm trying to come up with like a Walmart Superstore type movie right now. But it's already been done a few times. But I watch that show and I'm like, oh, dude, every joke I want to do is kind of coming out in this show. So, but the show's pretty good, man. I like it.
I've seen clips from it, but I've never sat down and watched it. But I've seen clips on TikTok and stuff of it.
I'm running back Roseanne. I've been like speaking of those 24-minute shows. I've been watching because I grew up watching Roseanne.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And I started watching it and it really hit me. And I'm like, bro, this was my life. Like
Yeah.
literally my life growing up. Like there's my dad, there's my mom. I have no brothers or sisters, but I was DJ a little bit, you know. Like you watched Roseanne?
Oh yeah. And then we started watching it when it came back on until Roseanne wasn't on anymore. And then I didn't watch it.
Oh, they called it the Connors or
Yeah, I
something
didn't watch
like
it.
that.
I got a little tidbit for you guys. I'll say it when we're off the air in regards to Roseanne because I don't want to like put private information out, but I got something that you guys might find interesting. But yeah, have you guys watched American Dad since they went to TBS?
No.
Dude, it's
I
so
haven't watched
good.
American Dad in years.
Dude, it's
I mean,
so fucking good. Like I wasn't a Seth MacFarlane guy for the longest time, but then I started watching American Dad on like Adult Swim, and like ever since they went to cable, they just fucking like they've been letting loose and having all these fucking hilarious episodes. It's so good. Like I'm like starting to go through it now and shit. It's like discovering something new and shit. Like even though it's been around.
Last Seth MacFarlane thing I watched the new Ted show on
The
on
Ted
Hulu.
show is funny. I like that one.
There's some wild ass jokes in there. I don't know how they got away. That stuff is crazy.
bro.
The episode with Dennis the truck.
Yeah, I was like, oh my gosh, dude. He said some crazy stuff.
My wife was
Tires is also good. I don't know if you've seen Tires.
I've seen clips of it, but I haven't checked it out yet.
Highly recommend it.
What about hey? Since you're from the Tulsa area, you watch Tulsa King?
No, it's on my list. My sister got on to me for not watching it last week when they were down here. So
what's that about?
That's the one with Sylvester Stallone.
I know they film it here, or I know they actually film some of the stuff here.
Basically, it's a crime family. Sylvester Stallone gets out of jail after being in a long time. Unfortunately, he can't be like in his city due to ordinance or whatever. So they send him to Tulsa, and he's like, "What the fuck am I going to do in Oklahoma?" And then he became like king of Oklahoma, basically, and started running shit out of Oklahoma, which is funny too because I'm like, bro, the Midwest is literally where a lot of like shit went down for Italian mob bosses, like a lot of Kansas, like all these places out here. So I was like, I want to watch this because I think it might just be on some real true story shit. Because like all the New York and Philly mob bosses, like I ain't trying to get into too much, but they did a lot of their work out of the Midwest.
Well, it makes sense. There's less chance to get caught out here. There's a lot more open space, you know.
But yeah, I definitely want to check out Tulsa King.
Yeah, it's on the list too.
Movies?
Movies? What?
Yeah. Did we talk about movies?
His favorite movie's Twister, dog.
Oh. See, I smoke a lot of weed and I've been hitting the head a lot. And I forget things.
I'd say that I say both of those things on a pretty regular basis. So I'm like, my bad, I get hit in the head a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, all the time.
It's real.
The weed and the
head injuries are real.
You throw in that, I'm cooked, bro.
Hey, on a side note, I try to tell Andrew that Oklahoma literally has some of the best weed I've
I'm telling you.
I'm from California.
I mean, Sam, you've been to California. I'm sure you've smoked our weed. What do you think about our weed compared to your guys'?
It's good too, but like I've been kind of disappointed now that I've been traveling more and stuff. I've been kind of disappointed everywhere I've gone because I've gotten kind of spoiled here because it's cheap and it's good. Everywhere else, even when it's good, it's too expensive for me.
I'm gonna have to introduce you to my friend Keith when you come out here. He runs Real Kind Meds. Shout out Real Kind Meds. He's a sponsor of GCW as well. Shout out Keith, Real Kind 421 on Twitter. Real_420.
I think GCW will be there this week.
IG.
But I won't be there, but GCW will be there this weekend.
I'll be probably tailgating
Saturday in LA. They're in LA on Saturday. They're in Phoenix on Friday and LA on Saturday. Which I know I'm upset because it's my first Phoenix show that I'm gonna miss.
Oh shit!
I've done because this is only the third time they've ran there, and I did both the other shows. It's the
Where
first show.
this
weekend I have NWA in Alabama.
Our boy Mikey Freedom lives down in Alabama.
Right, yeah.
Shout out Mikey Freedom.
He's also a trucker.
This has been my first time wrestling in Alabama. So
oh damn,
we'll see how that goes. And it's for the NWA, so that's pretty cool.
It's the first time doing NWA.
No, I did the tapings they did in Tampa about a month and a half ago. But still, like last week in Tampa was still my first match because on the tapings all I did was I just did a spot. I just came in and moonsaulted somebody. a match. So it was
Listen,
forced to end
man,
this match.
go home.
But I mean, I drove 20 hours to Tampa, to move. But it was worth it. It was cool. And now I'm therefore I'm flying from. I got to fly from Oklahoma City. It's my first time flying out of that airport. I've only
I
been
got
there.
I got a big question for you as far as what's going on in the independent scene, and I saw something you posted, and um, how do you feel about this whole WWE ID thing that's going on, and what it's doing for some of the people that you actually know, like
Mm,
Cappuccino Jones? You know what I mean? Like,
like,
how do you like? What's your take on this, especially with your blossoming and your stock rising at the same time this is coming up, so it's kind of like you're like, oh shit, like how is this treating you?
I mean, I don't see how it could be a bad thing. Like, because I've seen people have negative opinions on it, and I don't understand what what could be bad about it. Like, they're just, it's literally helping people like live a dream that that without having to kill yourself, because basically what it is, it's just ensuring that by the time these dudes are ready for WWE, they're not as beat up as Kevin Owens was, and as all the guys who grinded for 15 years before they got to WWE. They're just making sure that these guys aren't like that by the time they get to WWE. They're going to make sure that they can make money off these dudes for 20 years now if they want to. That's so. I mean, I think, and plus, like I said, it gives people, it's going to give a lot of young guys. And I mean, they signing Kylie Ray. I told people should give like a lot of the indie people hope, because she's not the youngest person, and they signed, and like, because I figured they were only signing like, like 22, 23-year-old, fresh out of school people or whatever, but they're obviously extending it more to like real, like full-time indie people. So like I said, I don't think it's a bad thing. I don't think, like, I could see the only way that it could be a bad thing is like, if, like I said earlier, like, I'm glad that like stuff didn't pop off for me before I was ready, because some of these dudes, it may end up not working out for them if they're not ready for it, if they let it go to their head, or if they try to use it to, take advantage of people or anything like that. Then that could be the only like bad thing I see in it. But as far as like for the business, I think it's a good thing. It's going to put more eyes on the shows, because if like you slap a WB logo on somebody, someone's going to, like, if Cappuccino Jones on the show now, there's a whole lot more people who a month ago didn't know who Cappuccino Jones was that
Mhm.
know now, and they might see him on a show and they're like, oh, Cappuccino Jones is going to be on the show. Then that might be one new person's coming to an indie show that never would have came to an indie show before, just because there's a guy on there now that would be his, like, the ID thing. So I think it's a good thing personally, but I've definitely seen people who have negative opinions about it. But like I said, I don't see how it could be negative unless like it's going to be like a person by person, because like I could see how somebody could get it and turn it into a negative thing.
Right.
But like just by itself, I don't really see it as, I think it's good, because like I said, it gets more, anything that gets more eyes on everybody else is good for everybody.
Yeah, I feel the same way about it too. It just, I don't want it to become a negative thing.
Yeah.
Like the whole raising your booking and all that. And I get that. And I understand, like, some of the guys maybe like, hey, I deserve this, and maybe I wasn't getting that, but maybe I deserve this now. It's like, okay, yeah, you do. I just don't want it to be a negative thing, and I hate to like bring up the AEW graphic thing, but
Yeah.
I know a lot of people who got that AEW graphic a couple years back for doing
Yeah.
dark shows, and it just was like, hey, I'm $20, AEW graphic. Hey, I'm gonna need that 250. Like, wait, what? You know what I mean? Like, you did one show. You know what I
And
mean?
and hot take here, I guarantee you none of those guys are ever going to amount to anything, because
Mm-mm.
it's, I guess it's going to be a person by person. The guys who get the WID thing and turn into assholes about it, that's them peaking right there, because they're never, if because that could also, that could also be WWE might also have that as a, like, it could be a test on that too, to see how these guys handle it, so that way
Right.
they're not signing them to these full, 6-figure, 7-figure contracts or whatever, and then they find out after after they broke them off their bag that they're pieces of shit. Now at
Yeah.
least they can find out, like, if they're paying this person however much a month or whatever they're getting paid, because I mean, like I said, it's just it's designed, I feel like, and if I were coming up with this program, it would have been designed to, like I said, make sure these guys can still get these bookings, but like it should be the opposite. Like, they should take more bookings for less now, is because the whole point is for them to get reps in and not
Right.
have to worry about, like, not being able to wrestle because they can't, like, they're not getting paid enough to do it. Now they're getting broke off a little bit each two, or however often they get paid or whatever. They're getting broke off a little bit, like a financial thing, to be able to not have to worry about that. So if they go, someone can only give them $100 or whatever, they can take that instead of trying to hit them up for $200 or $300 just because they have the logo thing on it. Because at the end of the day, like I said, it's none of these guys that they're giving this to are like necessarily people that are selling tickets. They're just people that they see something in and that need to get better, and they're giving them the opportunity to do that by not having to deal with the stuff like they're not having to worry about doing their jobs and then trying to find shows and stuff like that. They're able to more focus on going to the gym, staying in shape, training, and stuff like that, and then hitting these shows to get experience in there. And obviously it's going to up their stock. So I mean, but like I said, like I also think that it could be a test. So like guys that do that, if they get this little WID thing and they were getting paid 40, 50, 60, but whatever before, and now all of a sudden they want to ask for $300-$400 and flights and everything else like that, if it completely switches them around, then WWE's obviously going to hear about that.
Right, immediately.
So yeah. So like I think that that could also have something to do with it. But anybody who does that, like I said, I don't have much faith in them being successful at this anyways, because you don't get successful in wrestling with that short-term thinking, stuff like that. Wrestling is a long-term thing if you're going to be successful at it. Or you can have your little 15 minutes and make a little bit of money, but then no one's going to work with you,
Exactly.
And the money's going to run.
Part of me
what's your take on the whole?
Feels like it's way too early to make a judgment yet, at least from a promoter's aspect, because like on the surface it seems like a good thing. People are saying like, hey, wrestlers are going to get paid more and it'll raise their stocks, and yeah, that's cool and all, but at the same time it's like we got to keep in mind this is WWE, and there's a history there. Even if Vince McMahon's gone, we've seen their attitude towards the business, and we've seen how, even in the modern ages, like what their approach with independent wrestling is when they had like Progress and WXW under their banner and all that. My main thing is like, as a promoter, I don't really want to be a canary in the coal mine, and I don't want to be one of the first who tries out, being part of this thing where it's like I'm booking their wrestlers and all of a sudden a year from now, it's like, oh, hey, WWE comes along and says that footage of our contracted or WWE ID talent that you have, yeah, we need to have ownership of that, blah, blah, blah. We're not going to cut you off anything. And like a big problem I have, like I've seen several people mention this, and again, WWE, multi-billion-dollar company, and they're saying it's like, oh, they're getting free developmental stuff from the independents for their future stars. And to me, it's like I know WWE is associated with some schools. I don't know what their like financial like dealings are, but like to me, it's like if WWE is going to have independent promotions booking their talent for the purpose of, I'm not talking about main roster talent or NXT talent. I'm talking about the WWID people. If we're going to be booking them to mold them for WWE's future, so WWE can make money off them, like what do we get out of it aside from like, oh, the chance to put a logo on a flyer and maybe get a couple people, to come in through the door. I really think there has to be more coming from WWE, like more transparency and a bit of assistance financially for some of these promotions putting on these shows. Because like, even if these wrestlers don't charge a lot, right? Even if they don't go from being like, oh, I charge 50, but now I got this WWID thing, I want like $500. Even if they're only charging $100, it's still a matter of like a lot of these promotions aren't making that money back in the end. So it would be cool if, like WWE, I'm not saying cut like $1,000 checks to every promotion who books all these talents, but like, kick a little something back, or, give them some publicity on your social media at least. I know it's really hard for them to do because they got a lot going on. There's limitations as to what they can do on their end, with all the shit they got going on. But at the same time, it's like if WWE, makes an effort to help independent promotions that do use their ID talent, cool. But at the same time, it's like I kind of want to wait and see how this plays out first before we jump into anything. And like I want to see how it will play out if, like, let's say AEW has interest in Zara Zacker, right? And they want to try to approach her, and she's got the WWE ID commitment. Let's see how that goes and see, how each company goes, because it could go negatively for a lot of different reasons. And we're still in the very early stages of this. So I think it's best soft approach, be like, hey, this could be cool, but there could be problems. But for now, it's like, if they're going to be paying their talents, good. That's what should matter. Get them some money, because it's tough to make money on the independents, through booking fees and merch. You can sell all the merch you can, but still it's going to be tough. I think with WWE money, it could also help these talents, with healthcare costs and shit. So if that's a positive that comes out of it, good. But at the same time, it's I'm gonna hold back and see what happens down the line. So
Well,
that's
the
my
only
view.
thing I would say is I know they've helped a little bit. Like if you saw those little promos that they let them plug their little home wherever they trained at, and they put all their logos and their home feds and stuff on there. So I mean I feel like and that was all on the WWE, so on the social media stuff. So I don't look I'm not a promoter, and I don't ever plan on being a promoter. Never been a
Don't do
promoter.
it. It
I
sucks.
don't.
Do it. Don't
Yeah,
do it.
no. There's no
It sucks, bro.
I helped a dude here book a show for 6 months, and I was ready to quit wrestling. So there's
Damn.
absolutely no way. So I don't look at anything from a promote from So I that's an interesting. I'm glad you have that perspective to show me, to share with me, because like I said, I didn't, not one part of me looked at it from a promoter's standpoint on this whole situation. I only looked at it from the wrestler's view, and like I said, from the wrestler's view, unless that individual person is an asshole,
Yeah.
I feel like it's mainly mostly good,
And from my promoter's perspective, I'm looking at it as someone who's I want to see the best for everyone. I'm not like these other promoters who are just stiffing guys just so they can pocket their fucking ticket revenue. Dude, I pay out of pocket for my shows, dude. I care about people. And I'll be honest, there are times where I'm late on pay, but I fucking give them extra money as, a sign of hey, I fucked up. Let me make it up to you. Blah, blah, blah. That's the kind of guy I am as a promoter. But I feel like there are going to be promoters who they're going to take advantage of this situation, I think, too. And that's one thing I'm worried about, because there are asshole promoters, and they're going to be like, hey, I got WWE ID talent on my shows. If you want to make it on my shows, you got to do this and that. And they're going to manipulate, more impressionable. And I'm talking about shitty promoters, not the reputable promoters, but I'm talking about shindy promoters who fucking just in it just to make a quick buck, not people who care about
which
the
I feel like
business.
this is the wrong thing to get into if you're trying.
Yeah,
To,
Right.
there's so many promoters who don't care about nurturing the future of the business, because on the independent level, this is what it is. We're the grassroots of this industry, and if we want to see be better, we need to make sure it gets better. But again, we know how it is. We know there are promoters who will fuck over talent just to make a buck. So I'm worried that I just hope WWE ID doesn't give an opportunity for some of these promoters to do just that.
no, I mean it definitely will, but I mean, I don't necessarily know what else could what the alternative would be. Because if they didn't do anything, that would suck for everybody too. So I mean, I'm glad they're trying something. There's always going to be someone who's going to turn anything they consider positive into a negative. So there's going to be wrestlers that take advantage of it and start trying to screw over promoters. There's going to be promoters that use it to get more people in their school, and then probably end up screwing over those kids out of money. There's definitely going to be negative things, but they could also just end this thing tomorrow. Because you're also right, and we need to just let it play out, because also all the people that have gotten have been pretty hush hush about there's no official, nobody really knows what all the details are except the people who are signed.
Yeah. I noticed that. I tried to pry some of them. I'm
Yeah,
hey, what's going on?
I
No.
I've slowly pieced together certain things and whatnot, but it's like I said, nobody knows. Nobody really knows except the people that are getting it, and I haven't heard any of them people, those guys complaining.
But
yet.
it's
One positive, sorry to cut you off, but one positive I have noticed is there hasn't been any WWE ID guys not putting people over that I've seen. I've seen some of them I haven't seen all of them. I've seen just a few in the area put it over other talent. So I'm glad there's no restrictions as to what these guys can do and not do on the independents as far as that's concerned. As far as that aspect is concerned. So There's some positive there.
I think that was one of my things too. Is just like I don't need to be told by a talent like, hey, I can't lose. It's like really, like you know what I mean? Like
And I'm a champion.
you're gonna
Even
lose
if,
in WWE, guaranteed. You
even
know
if
what
it's
I mean?
not WWE, like a regional champion saying, "Hey, I'm a champion in this promotion. I need to go over." It's like, get the fuck out of here, bro.
Gross.
Do you ever deal with that shit, Sam?
I mean, I've had I've had a few people refuse to put me over,
Fuck.
and but I just can't. I can't imagine doing that. Like it blows my mind. I just don't. I almost to a fault don't care about that part of it. Like the work part, the winning and losing and stuff. Like I don't. Like I said, it's almost been detrimental to my career at some points of the lack of like how much that matters to me.
I saw
then that-
low key refuse to put over Claudio Castagnoli
That's crazy.
in 2011. Actually, I think this might have been talked about in some
Yeah,
shoot
I think I
interviews.
saw. Yeah,
But I was there that night, and
insane.
fuck, dude.
That's insane to me. I can't.
You should do that, Sam. You should rib one of these promoters. Like, hey,
I would
check
like
this out, man. I'm on GCW now. I can't.
I was on mic'd up with Gus.
crazy to me. That's crazy.
Just rib the hell out of a promoter and get a good just pick a promoter that's really nice. Like, hey, bro, I can't put him over, man. I'm on
Do that to
It's
Brett
not
at the
good for
next
me, brother.
GCW show.
Oh yeah, like Brett, I'm on GCW, so I feel like I should win.
Brett, I'm going over Effie. I'm going over Manson Hammerstein.
Yeah.
Strap me up, bro.
No, I can't. I actually can't complain about. I've gotten some I've gotten to do some pretty cool stuff at GCW, and I've gotten some wins.
Any good ribbing stories on since we're talking about ribs?
I don't know. I've never really been big into the ribbon thing, so like I kind of avoid it at all costs because it's just not. It's never been my thing, and it happened to me way too much when I was first coming in.
Any stories about you being on the receiving end?
Jesus, they used to, yeah, like not even they used to just beat us back in the day. So, but no, like there's one time where like this dude, one of the dudes that he's real like we're real cool now and everything, and he was one of the vets then, but we were at, like this after party thing, and I was like less than a year in or something like that. But he had like I ended up, long story short, I ended up drinking this entire bottle of whiskey by myself because he came up to me. He's like, just drink down to here and I'll leave you alone. So I would chug it because I wanted to be cool. And I woke up the next morning and like my chest was raw from like nipple to nipple because apparently I like let him chop me, that's why I don't drink around wrestlers because I dove out of a pool one time because after we were partying after the show, and I was like crash bot and dove out of the pool. So yeah, it's not great. It's not great. I told you I've done some dumb stuff. I don't do smart things very often.
I gotta tell my friend Adair about you because he's a TV writer and shit. I'm sure he would get a kick out of your stories.
Done a lot of goofy things. But luckily, there's not been any like life-changing ribs or anything. I mean, there's definitely been mentality-changing ribs. But that
coming of age type shit.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Who are since you're from Oklahoma, since you're out of the Oklahoma scene, wanted to give some light onto the scene. Who are some of the guys out of Oklahoma that you feel should be traveling a little bit more?
Well, I mean, obviously Cap is gonna. I knew the day. Like I came up when he was still training. Josh Royal was running did a guest training thing. He asked me to come up there, and he was already he hadn't even debuted or anything yet, and he was already way better than everybody in that class. So him, let's see, there's Mr. Nasty is he could have been he could be doing this all over the place if he wanted to. He's one of the best people I've been in the ring with here. Tommy Dean is good. I mean, there's and I feel bad because I haven't been I've been traveling the past 2 or 3 years, so there's a lot of these newer guys around here that I haven't had that I don't know much about, and so I'm sure I'm missing some people, but I because it's all going to be OG guys that are on my list because those are the guys that I've been working with for all these years.
Right.
So yeah, Tommy, I said, Tommy Dean, Mr. Nasty. Let's see, they even put me on the spot.
My bad.
Oh
I
no,
said
you're
I don't
good.
want you to get you in trouble either. I don't want
Fucking
Logan to call you like,
Gus,
bro.
man.
Oh no, Logan knows he's like he just messaged me a while ago. Matter of fact, so no, he's good. He's good. Like if he's good, I wouldn't, or if I didn't think he was good, I wouldn't take him with me. Like I wouldn't,
Right,
because
right.
that's another thing. Like I'm when I take people with me, like I'm not real worried about the in ring. I'm more worried about them embarrassing me in the locker room more than anything. And so, and like I say, because all that stuff's important. But and I think that if somebody came to Oklahoma and taught more of that stuff here, I feel like things would be a lot better. If Bob Evans would have came, you brought him over. If he would have came to Oklahoma a few years earlier, stuff might have popped off a little earlier for people around here, because Bob Evans changed a lot. Like Bob Evans changed my life with with all the stuff that he taught me, and I know that he helped out a lot. Like he's helped out a lot of people get a lot of better spots around here. But
Oh yeah.
there's a lot of guys in Oklahoma and Texas. Like like I said, there's dudes doing this stuff every week that are doing things that I could never dream of doing. And all it takes, I always compare wrestling to like the music industry or anything like that. All it takes is the right person to see, and that's because, like I said, that's what happened to me. The right person saw my stuff and sent it to Brett Lauderdale, and then my life changed overnight.
Jeez.
So that's all, and if it can happen to me, it can happen for anybody. Like let me see. I'm gonna name some more people. Let's see. I don't think, because I already named the usual suspects. Everybody knows all those guys are good. I'm trying to think. Let's see. I smoked too much before this.
What do you
I
think?
can't
I'll
remember
just say
anybody's
that
name.
wrestling
I
and
can't even
music
remember.
analogy is really spot on because, like you said, it takes just one person to see you and to make you overnight success, quote unquote. You've done it for years, and it's also like just like with wrestling and music, there's different genres and shit. And you can like whatever you want. You don't have to like one certain thing and all that. So there's a lot for everyone out there.
And I was gonna say the parallels don't end there. Like we're our own managers. Like we have to find our own bookings. We got to make, like, if you want to make a living at this. If it like because if it wasn't for the merch, I'd still have to have a real job. Like,
Just
but
like most indie bands out there right
yeah,
now who
like
are
you got to make
touring
your own
and shit.
stuff. You got to be out there grinding your own. You got to put you, because no one's gonna put you over except you.
And then promoters dealing with venues who want to take cut of people's merchandise, which is fucking insane to me.
Oh, ain't the commission here trying to start do that? Let them.
No, I'm talking about venues. Like,
well, I know, but I think we're gonna have to deal
No,
with that.
the
The
commission
commission
was
here is
trying
about
to. Yeah.
yeah. They
really?
want part of our merch money now.
So at the last show, I don't even think I told you this, Andrew. At the show, my debut show I had, Sam was on.
Oh yeah, I was throwing a fit.
Commissioner came up, or Tommy came up to us and was like, "Yo, they're thinking about taxing the merch," and I'm like, "No,
Yeah,
absolutely fucking not, bro. No." And I said
Tommy
it on the
was
spot.
telling me he's gonna charge people to sell merch. I was like, you ain't gonna charge me to sell. You're insane.
I told the commissioner on the spot, I was like, do not walk up to any of those wrestlers and tax them. If you want to, like, I told him straight to, if there's a base
taxed for that shit.
if there's a base tax or if there's something, you come to me and I'll cover it. And he's like, what do you mean? I was like, you do not. I was like, these guys are. I was like, these are independent pro wrestlers, dude. I was like, if he sells a $20 shirt, you're not going to come up and take $3 from him. I'm sorry, or $2. And not. That's embarrassing for him to read. Like, hey, here's your paper. Here, sign this and do like. It's like you have to literally fill out a paper. How much you sold? All this shit. Oh, I sold one shirt, $20. Here's your $2, dude. You just have to spend 5 minutes to give him $2.
Fuck
Fuck that. That's why I told him. I said, you come to me.
I didn't say anything.
I'm so glad California's commission does not regulate wrestling. I am so fucking glad.
Dude, I'm
that
pretty
is
sure
some
Sam can
carnage
get into
shit.
about hours and hours of the commission out here because it's like I've been running into my issues with it, and I know the local boys out here kind of just over it, and like because you can see it, Sam. You go to other promotions, we don't have those problems. We don't we just run shows out other places, you know.
I never really had a problem with the commission until recently, and I still don't have that much of a problem with it because I don't wrestle much around. I don't have to deal with them very much like I used to. Used to I had to deal with them 2 or 3 times a week. I don't do them as much anymore. But I also I don't have a big problem because I get most of the things they do, like I get it, but they're doing too much right now. And it's just because they got in trouble and they look stupid, so now they're on one. That's
Is
all
it because
is.
of the Nyla Rose
Yeah,
thing?
yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Well, and also a few years ago, a thing popped off. We call it Blood Ghazi around here. That popped off because some lady took everybody. Like, what? I mean, I didn't let her. I'm glad I didn't let her touch me with a needle. That's insane. but she was like taking people's blood, and then she only submitted one person's blood, and then just was copying the paperwork and changing the name and stuff on all of them. And the commission found out about it. She had like real life, she like lost her job and got like real life sued. But so that happened, and then they found out the commissioners were taking money, like they were taking our money at the show, because we used to be able to get our license at the shows and stuff. Right. And but then there was commissioners that were giving out receipts but not actually sending in the money, and like because people started questioning why we never got our license in the mail, and then they found out because there was commissioners stealing money. So it's been a mess since. There's more problems than just the Nyla Rose thing. There's so much stuff, but but again, like I don't look at anything from a like the promoter's perspective, yeah. And I'm sure that it's way more crap y'all got to deal with than I've ever had. Because like the worst I've ever gotten in trouble with was for using thumbtacks and fire and stuff. They ain't like that a few times. But
what happened with the fire spot?
Really had. We did some flash paper a few times. Oh, okay. But and like but whenever we did that Oklahoma's Only death match or whatever, he told us we could use whatever we want as long as we didn't hit any fans, because we used syringes and gusset plates and everything in that match, and they were perfectly fine with it. And then 2 or 3 weeks later is when all the stuff popped off and they got in trouble. And now they're pretending like they're checking the ring, like they even know what the ring's supposed to be like. Mm-hmm. Like I want somebody at one of these next shows need to like leave some boards out on purpose and like leave the ring janky before when they check it and see if they even say anything about it. They won't even notice. They don't know what it's supposed to be like. They don't know what the hell's going on.
Don't even set up the straps under the ring.
Yeah. They don't know what like. If I would have no problem with the commission if it was across the board. They did their job or they didn't, like they used to. You can't have one commissioner who does his job and one commissioner who doesn't give a shit. Like it has to be. Everybody's got to do the same thing. Like I don't mind following all the rules as long as they enforce the rules every single show to everybody the same way, same exact way. Everybody's got the same exact thing. That'd be perfectly fine. But it's not that way, because one commissioner will tell you one thing, the other commissioner doesn't care. They're just there to collect their money, and they're gone before the first match even starts. Like, and then there's other commissioners who are, like I said, they're trying to check the ring and like take our taxes for merch and stuff. So it's just a mess. It's a mess.
The commissioner told me that we did 2 things. If we do them at the next show, he'll shut us down. One was when Gino and Tino they went outside the ring, and Gino backed through that little ramp area in the middle, and that's the only spot that didn't have the barrier, and he literally went like a foot or 2 past that to take a punch, and the commissioner's like, we can't have that, so just let you know next time we're gonna have to shut the show down because that's fan interference. I'm just like, are you fucking? So
they let us use caution tape as a barrier,
and then he got mad.
What are we talking about here, bro?
Then literally during the middle of his match, I had literally walked up behind Gino and bumped into him. I said, "You have to stay on the other side," and then like backed up. I'm like, that was embarrassing. Yeah, you know what I mean? Because the commissioner's like, "Oh, no, he can't be doing that." I'm like, bro, like, come on.
Well, also like a kid did die a couple years ago too in the ring in an unsanctioned show. So that didn't help either. Yeah, that didn't help either.
Was it off like a bad bump?
Yeah, he took like a spine buster and just never woke up again.
Oh, wait, like a rogue show that?
Yeah, it was an unsanctioned show, but the state got in trouble for it. So that's
kind of
There's just been thing where certain people took advantage of something, and then something else happened, and it's just been a whole snowball, and now we're in this mess that we're in right now.
Were they properly trained wrestlers?
No,
probably
not at all.
Probably
yeah,
no,
makes sense.
There's like like 2 schools out here.
Yeah, no, it was like a burlesque group or something like that, or something like that, and they had a show, and yeah, it was ridiculous.
Nah, that doesn't sound.
But yeah, like I said, there's been every year it seems like something's happened that's led us to where we're at now. But like I would have no problem with them if they just did their jobs the right way every time, or just didn't. Either way, like, because I don't think they like, and they should also just let like ex-wrestlers do it or something like. But the other problem when that happened is that like we had an ex-wrestler being a commissioner, but it was just a wrestler nobody liked, so everybody threw a fit about it and got him fired. Makes no sense.
That's another thing.
No sense.
Like with commissions, they should at least be in place to like make sure there's some like oversight to make sure everyone's safe. Like I would be okay as a promoter if like, you know, I went to somewhere and the commission said, hey, you need to have a doctor check everyone's blood pressure before a match to make sure, they don't end up like fucking going in the ring and something happens to them.
Yeah.
And like, I'd be okay with that. Making wrestlers get blood tests every 6 months to make sure they're clean. Cool.
It's only a year here.
Yeah, minimally invasive shit like that would be fine for a lot of these promotions, right? And if they're also not going to be as expensive to do that stuff as it would be to oversee wrestling the same way boxing and MMA are overseen. But like some of these commissions, like you guys are talking about Oklahoma, they're just overstepping their fucking boundaries and shit, in my opinion. It's like, what the fuck do these people know? Like here in Burbank, like I had to deal with the city because they label professional wrestling like in terms of licensing and permitting and zoning as the same as like boxing and MMA. And I've had to explain to people like, no, it's not the same. The setups are different because like with MMA and boxing, the rings need to be inspected the day before, and they have to have tables for like officials around.
Have a real commission.
They have to have fucking EMTs set up and shit. Whereas wrestling is like you just need a ring and chairs are optional for fans out here. And it's like trying to explain that to like, city people sucks because none of them understand wrestling. And it sucks when government gets involved and they put all these people in charge who don't know what they're doing. Like when MMA started to get regulated, there was a bunch of fucking people put in charge who only knew boxing and shit. And it kind of hurt the growth of MMA at the beginning. Before, like MMA's got a lot of problems with commissions now, but like now that we've seen more like educated people on the sport getting involved in it, it's starting to work. But with professional wrestling, it's like it's such a fucking weird thing because, like you mentioned, that dude who got appointed in Oklahoma, everyone hated him. There's a lot of that shit in wrestling where people just don't like certain people, and you never know if like people who get put in charge in a position of power will abuse that power. So it's really tough, but it's even tougher when the people trying to regulate it don't know shit about it. So,
and that's been a huge problem with the commission because, like I said, our commission has never had anybody who knows anything about what we actually do or what should be like what's actually dangerous and what rules they should actually have and stuff. Because I'm fine with people not fighting the crowd, and like here I've told people like I kind of got heat with this because like I'm like, I don't know if I'm a commission guy technically, but like I don't mind the commission because like I don't think that the people around here are necessarily grown up enough to not have one. Because if the commission if the commission goes away, there's going to be a whole lot more like the one like that people who had the show and the kid died. Like it's gonna happen because people are going to try to do stuff that they don't know what they're doing because they didn't go to Texas or go somewhere else where you can do it and learn how to do it. They're just going to do it. And it's not going to end well.
To counter that point a little bit, sorry to cut you off.
Oh, you.
But like, I think the one problem is like, we live in a society where money changes everything. Someone can just throw around money, and then all of a sudden they're a licensed wrestler and they're a licensed promoter, even though if they don't have the training. And like with commissions, like out here in California, fucking they sanctioned a woman who was like 41 years old and only had like 4 or 5 fights against a woman who was like a world champion and she got knocked out in like seconds. And in Texas, we just saw they regulated Mike Tyson to fight Jake Paul, which is absolutely fucking insane in my opinion.
I didn't even think about that. That is crazy that they let that happen. Like,
so the fault with
60-something-year-old man.
So the flaw with commissions is, like you said, they can prevent certain people from being able to run, but at the same time, they can't if they got the money. So there is really a question of like, how do you guys have a vetting process and how does this vetting process get put into place and all that? So it's hard. It would be hard. Just
like I said, in a dream world, they would just they would have like all the main like the commission knows who all the promoters are in Oklahoma. Mm-hmm. They could get all the promoters together and put together like some sort of little side commission thing or what are they called? Consultants. Like use the promoters as consultants or whatever and come up with a whole new rules like geared specifically for pro wrestling and not just shit they've made up for the past 15 or 20 however long the commission's been around of stuff that makes no sense and doesn't apply to wrestling that at all because that would be that in the perfect world that's what would happen and then they would because like I said I don't mind the blood work I don't mind getting the physical I don't mind any of that stuff.
I don't mind that either
I don't mind it's $35 a year we have to pay the commission as a wrestler.
I don't mind that.
That's not bad
if first off, if like wrestling, if you with your wrestling you can't pay for $35 out of the whole year, then you're doing something very wrong, and people are taking advantage of you, and you should probably look at that more than the commission.
Yeah.
But so, like I said, they don't bother me. I think that they serve their purpose. They definitely keep certain, like some shows that could happen from happening. But like I said, I don't know what all the fees are from the promoter things. I've never had to worry about this. I don't know if it's expensive for y'all to run. I don't know how any of that stuff works. But as far as from the wrestling perspective, like I said, in the perfect world, they would put together some sort of committee and take our suggestions and stuff and just start over from scratch and make rules that make sense and apply for wrestling. And then because if they did their job, I wouldn't mind if we had to pay to the merch thing or whatever. It wouldn't be that big a deal if they told us exactly what it was going to. And it went to that. Like if they found a way to make things better or something, stuff like that, and like have doctors and stuff like that at the that would make it an official thing or whatever. That wouldn't be a problem.
Pension
But
fund for wrestlers.
That's not gonna happen. Like they were talking about to change the trans rule thing and the people and the dudes wrestling girls or whatever thing. They have to go all the way through legislation, all this stuff to change it. That's not gonna happen. No one has the money to make that happen. Like this not like I think they got rid of the commission in Arkansas, and it cost them like 15 or 20 grand or something like that. They had to come up with to get rid of the commission there because they sued them for being incompetent, and then they got rid of them. Which is exactly what that's exactly what we would have to do here, and we could easily do it. There's been so many cases throughout the years that we could prove that the commission is incompetent. Just nobody around here has the money to do it because you're gonna like I said, you're gonna have to you're gonna be basically suing the state of Oklahoma to get rid of it.
Kickstarter for you guys.
Yeah, that's the only way it's gonna happen.
And we'll get Logan Knight to head it.
Right. Well, he better get good at fundraising then.
Yeah, it's just like this the commission thing, man. It's just look, here is my take on like I had to pay a total of like $112 with everything that day, okay? And in my head, I'm like, you're taking $112 for what? Is first of all the dude on the clock, how much are you paying him? So let's take that $112 and pay him. Now, where's the rest of that money? What does that go to? What, like just to the bank, to like your guys' bank or what? Because ultimately you just did all this big rules and all this big fucking showing your ass to make 20 something bucks off of me.
Well, what it is the twice a year that WWE comes here, they make a whole lot more than that. The two times WWE comes here pays for their entire like budget for the year. We're just an unfortunate, like the problem is they can't regulate WWE without regulating us.
Gotcha.
So they're like that's what's gonna be hard to, that's why it's gonna cost so much money to get rid of them, because they're gonna fight for it, because they do actually make money every time WWE comes here, AEW comes here. They make money off of them, especially last time because they find AEW. I don't know how much they find them, but they find them, so they make even more money off of that. But they get the percentage or whatever they take is crazy when it's WWE numbers. So like the couple of times a year they get those paydays, they're not going to give up. Plus, I mean, it doesn't sound like much, but I mean, $35 times like the 300 or 400 people that probably get licensed in this thing. I mean, that adds up too. And like they can't be paying these commissioners very much, but some of them have been commissioners for a long time. So I mean, I don't know how it's going to work or what the answers is, but I don't foresee it changing anytime soon. We're just going to have to deal with it like we always have. Because when I first started wrestling, there was the commission, but we didn't have to do blood work when I first started. That happened like 2 or 3 years after I started, and then like 2 or 3 years later, they started the whole thing where we couldn't get the things at the shows anymore. So we used to be able to show up with our blood work and our physical and our money and get it at the shows, and we can't do that anymore. But they made it where it's over on the internet. It took me like 5 minutes to get my license this time, which was way cool. Because like didn't they like replace everybody or something? I heard.
Yeah, everyone in the commission got replaced.
That's what I thought.
There's a new commissioner, and he's not as cool. I don't know. I haven't met any. I just met the one that came out and the representative, and I let Pantera pretty much handle all that because that's
probably he seems like he has a pretty good. He deals with them a lot. So
So it's like
that's another thing being promoter. No part of me wants to deal with any of that. I don't have to worry. I want to show up, have my match, then get stoned and go home. That's all I want. I don't want to have to worry
I
about.
As a promoter, I've gotten
Any of that,
stoned
just-
during my shows and before, so
I
I've
don't
ran
wanna
shows
worry about
high.
any of those things. And like I know how I've gotten whiny over my career. You know, like I've gotten whiny sometimes. I wouldn't want to deal with me because that was the worst thing when I was helping that dude book that show for 6 months. The amount of whiny ass messages and stuff I got, I'm not even bullshit when I'm telling you I was ready to quit. I was done. I was done with it. I was
See-
and there's no way I could do that. There's no part of me wants to mess with that side. So respect to y'all for messing with that side of it. I don't want no part of it.
It's probably a mentality thing because whenever I get those messages, I just think of them as entertainment fodder.
Oh,
I just laugh and I'm just like,
I'm losing
this
this
fool.
week. You don't like me? Somebody's got to lose, brother. What are we talking about here? I'm losing this week too, and I'm the one that wrote the fucking card. What are we talking about?
Oh, shit. Sam Stackhouse, I am going to appreciate your time right now. I think we've covered. I want you back for part 2 if possible.
Yeah. Anytime, let me know. I don't like it. I get to live a dream now. I don't do much during the week, so
nice.
Hey,
I wish I could have that lifestyle, man.
man,
well,
I mean,
you either be
it
a pro
hurts.
wrestler or get a hot young wife, bro.
I'll
Pick
say,
one.
yeah, it hurts.
I don't think I
sometimes,
can
man.
do
It's like-
either.
Do you have any comments or questions? Hey, Sam, how can we reach you? How can the people of Mic'd Up with Gus get a hold of you if they wanted to book you? What's going on?
You can book me at book Sam Stackhouse at gmail.com. The Sam Stackhouse on pretty much all of the it's either like Sam _ Stackhouse or the Sam Stackhouse on Twitter and Instagram Sam _ Stackhouse. I'm on TikTok. I'm on all the social medias. You can find me on all them bad boys. Also, any wrestlers watching, you need merch. I make merch. I make all my own stuff. So you can hit me up that too. I got some little holiday sales going on right now. I made some merch for some pretty high caliber people. So be like them
Nice.
and get on the train. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, no. That's about it. You can find me on all those things. Keep in contact. Hit me up. You know, I like to talk about wrestling and
Hell yeah. Hey, I did not have a backpack full of pre-rolls.
Yo,
Next time you're in LA for GCW, let's hook up and
I
smoke.
definitely will. Yeah.
Smoke.
Hopefully I'm gonna try to get all the ones next year because that was my only time ever wrestling in California was at one LA show. That one LA show I did, and that was dope because I've been watching GCW forever and even working at GCW, I never did those LA shows, but being in that venue and like because I've watched the Cultural Center. I've seen that video on the Fight TV or whatever for years, and being there was pretty. That was one of my favorite, and the reactions that I got from that crowd. That was one of my favorite GCW.
I seen those reactions you were getting.
Oh yeah, dude,
man.
it was crazy. It was insane.
Well, Sam Stackhouse, appreciate your time. Andrew Pesina, appreciate you joining me, of course, as always. Guys, this is Mic'd Up with Gus. This is Sam Stackhouse. Make sure you guys follow him. Check his career out. He's been doing this a long time. He's been helping people out. He's going to continue to help out the scene because guess what? There's no failure for this guy. He's got the support team. And if you guys got any questions for him, hit him up. Let him know. He'll get on the game and beat your ass, right?
Oh yeah, see me. Y'all can see me in Madden anytime.
Ooh, he said anytime. We're gonna leave it off that. Sam Stackhouse, we appreciate your time, brother. We're gonna end it like that.
I check my messages. Thoughts popping off, I'm in trouble. This life can burst like a bubble. Nothing is subtle. The pain I carry within. Wanna jump out of my skin.
Turning me for anything I think fast. My advice wish, no free pass.
Cause I'm like, no free pass. My number, no pass. No free pass.
Right in my notepad. It's making you uncomfortable, I know that. You don't want to talk, no feeling, so I'm looking at the